Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, would you like to ready to hear another chapter of this book, Releasing Self-Sabotage and Focusing on Success? Would you like to try? Would you like to try it out? Let's try it out. Prepare yourself. Once again, this is from Heights of Deprogramming. This is going to be part 3. No, I'm not reading the whole book. I'm just reading some of it. I had a really interesting lesson on self-sabotage. I had a large bill that was due, so I juggled what I could to make sure the check was covered. I watched my checking account daily so I would not overdraft. When the check finally came, I overdrafted my account because I put my funds in savings account instead of my checking account. Talk about self-sabotage. That's just dumb. The check was sent back. I received an overdraft fee. I had to call the company and tell them to redeposit the check. Plus, I had to pay the fee for the return check. And of course, I was told that I would have to issue a new check. Blah blah blah. I was focused on not overdrafting my account. That I did exactly this, self-sabotage. I successfully accomplished what I was focused on. I made my fears come true. No one did anything to me. No one set me up. I set up myself. This is one of the most challenging admissions that you have to make to yourself. No one does anything to you. It's your own mind pattern that creates your experience. What a dick. Even when you know your own mind pattern, or at least you think you do, like I did, you still can set yourself up in huge ways. I had to stop and think about why I did this. A friend of mine lost a young son in a drinking and driving accident. He was driving while intoxicated, lost control of the vehicle, struck a lone tree in the middle of a huge field. My feeling is that the more he thought about not hitting the tree, the more he focused and drew him to the very thing he was trying to avoid. In your own life, it is a challenge to focus on anything when you feel the pain of whatever is hurting at the moment. And in this life, there is so much hurt going a billion different ways. Some days it is truly a challenge to focus on the positive. Everyone has a story, everyone has stuff. Everyone is busy building a mental slash emotional slash physical slash spiritual muscle so they can accomplish their purpose and mission in this specific lifetime. Have you ever sabotaged yourself like I did? Oh, yeah. Something was so obvious right in front of your face, but for some reason you just didn't see it. Have you watched others position themselves for failure rather than success? Have you ever focused so much on your fear that you know you made it happen? As you challenge to try to reason with yourself that everything is going to be okay, when logically it does not seem that way at all. Here in Michigan, it has turned cold again, so today I made some broccoli soup, chicken pot pie for my sons, as I am not a fan, and some oatmeal raisin, as I am not a fan, and some oatmeal raisin cookies. I decided to have some soup and cookies for my dinner. I was cold yesterday, last night, and today, and lately my head has been a little foggy from the fasts. So I decided I had enough. I also decided to fast from emotional eating for the next 2 days. So, in my own way, I'm continuing to do what needs to be done to reset my mind pattern. I am focusing on success, which is something I have been training myself to do for many years. In a way, focusing on success is similar to when the world gives you lemons, make a lemonade. Self test. Passive aggressive people are jealous of your progress, and they do everything they can to pull you back into the pack mentality. Every day, people are going to do things to test your emotional, personal resolve. This happens in a variety of ways, but ultimately, these are your self tests. The world is really me versus me. It is challenging to leave people behind who you have known or have had various bonding events, and it is rough when these people leave you behind first. Usually, you feel left out and less than, which is their intention, since they do not understand you, but they understand their fellow pack members, so you're the odd man out. Be grateful that they pushed you out, and amongst it all, you're still kept your self identity. There are those who continue to do everything they can to make you question your own existence. Always remember that you came here for a reason, that you have a mission and purpose on earth. As long as you focus on success, these types of people are no more disturbing than a fly that buzzes around your face. When you focus on the fly, it drives you insane. In fact, the news is full of people violently reacting to the little things in life rather than just letting it go. Do you have friends that aren't really your friends? Do you have friends that are passive aggressive? Do you have people in your life that like to feed your self doubt and confusion? Fly in my face. Try not to focus on it. Do you feed their loop or do you let them go? Bitch, I'll fucking kill you. Oh, you little motherfucker. Flying all in my face. Is it challenging to focus on success when you see others focusing on their self destruction? Do you have people in your life that try to focus on your own self destruction and then tell you it's for your own good? Or try to make you feel guilty when you look forward and they only want to look backwards? Have you felt like the odd man out? Is that changing now that you are finding your place? Are you finding your place? I've decided to include the following two articles that you may have read elsewhere, but they are important to review. 20 Reasons the Illuminati Gives You a Shelf Life. Number 1, you are a wealth of information. 2, you know history. 3, you know religion. 4, you know geography. 5, you know how to read current language. 6, you can track trends. 7, you learn from past mistakes. 8, you can teach others. 9, you see the big picture. 10, you can change the big picture. 11, you can teach your children and grandchildren. 12, you can improve your health. 13, you can be a living example. 14, you can accumulate wealth. 15, you can give wealth to others. 16, you have an information network. 17, you have like-minded friends. 18, you and your friends create global change. 19, you might find out the truth. 20, you might tell others. The death program and how to stop it. The death program. Ages 0 through 9. You are told the average lifespan of the human. This imprints your conscious mind with the death program, or literally the rest of your life. Ages 10 through 19. This is the decade of new beginnings. These are your teen years when you are out exploring the world, never giving much thought about the death program that is now running your subconscious mind. You may have to answer a question or two about this in your science class from time to time. Ages 20 to 29. This is the decade of duality. You learn the positive and negative aspects of life as you enter adulthood. The death program is running, but you tend to block it out of your conscious mind until you approach the end of your 20s. Then you start thinking about what you have not accomplished, realizing the rest of your life is not long enough. Ages 30 to 39. This is the decade of perfection of earlier learning. The death program speeds up. It tells you that your life is most likely halfway over. You worry about your health, worry creates disease, and you start to notice how others are aging compared to you. You may help to contribute to the worthy cause, walking for cancer awareness, raising money for MS, donating blood, etc., because you realize someday this may be you. Women reach the end of their childbearing years. They are now old, ages 40 through 49. This is the decade of physical reality. Often your financial picture improves, or the direction you need to go in life becomes more clear. In the meantime, the death program creates midlife crises, saying that you're officially in middle age. You decide you better take care of your health so you don't wind up like everyone else you know. You read the health articles wherever you see them. You try to make sure you do not have symptoms of some dreadful disease. This article, these articles promote fear, and fear creates disease. Age 50 through 59. This is the decade of self healing. You have now lived long enough that you consider yourself wiser than those with less life experience. You no longer care about what others think. You speak out easier for yourself. You may have more time for yourself as you settle into your career. You feel more confident until and competent until AARP meeting mailings and retirement brochures start rolling in, depicting little old bent over people with canes. The death program goes visual, and you response. Goes visual and you fight you response. That doesn't make sense. Age 60 through 69. This is the decade to end the series of cycles that may be running your life. This is the opportunity to end the old, which some people manifest as the end of good health and the end of viable relationships, the end of careers, and the death program says you're getting close to the end of your life. Better get prepared. People reach retirement age and now are cast aside, and they are old. 70 through 79. This is the decade of completion, according to the death program, now becoming increasingly active. What you learned as a child is about to come true. You are reaching the end of your lifespan as an average human. You either give in or do your best to beat the odds. Most people forget that completion means one door closing, another opening, unless it's the door to heaven. 80 through 89. This is the decade of your oversoul. Your oversoul is your point of origin out of the mind of God, or your higher power if you prefer that verbiage. This is the decade when you most naturally, consciously connect to your power source, rather than stay here and utilize this powerful and natural connection. What a great time for the death program to kick in, telling you it's time to connect in another reality. This is the decade that ends all the cycles of birth. If you have not left yet, it's time for the big heave ho to get out the door. Otherwise, what wealth of information and history you contain. If you are still healthy and in sound mind, what an influence you could be to the new crop of worker bees arriving in this reality, now 0 through 9. The death program is running full speed now, pushing you right through heaven's gate. 100 plus. New beginnings. But the death program is already shown you that you do not want to live this long. You will be alone, ill, with no one to take care of you. They do not want you to be a living storehouse of knowledge that can influence a generation. The death program is designed so that you absolutely do not follow through on this path of new beginning if you make it this far. And how to stop it. Refuse to participate in the death program. Ancient peoples from the Bible to Atlantis and Lemuria were rumored to have lived for hundreds of years. What happened? Develop your awareness that the death program exists for a reason. Refuse to participate. Learn to reverse the process. Ancient people from biblical times to Atlantis and Lemuria were rumored to live for hundreds of years. Is this possible for you too? Release your experiences as they occur up to the point of origin, your oversoul, God mind, or whatever you call your higher power. Carrying the experiences of your past fills you up, creates weight, changes relationships, redirects career paths, affects financial pictures, distorts the mind and body, recreates and recreate the beautiful body which you were born into something else. If you do not empty out while you're here, so you are ready for year 100, then you need to go out of body to do this, and the death program wins again. Your mind is your most effective tool for building up and tearing down yourself. You have the tool. You already own it. It is free. Use it appropriately, and the death program turns on itself, killing it instead of killing you. Very interesting. Use your mind to decide to live. What a concept. We'll have more readings later. Thank you for coming.